Okay, well, as we travel to pick up our drop, let's talk about long-term care insurance. Many seniors are facing three strikes as they hit retirement age. We've covered before how most people don't have enough saved up to fund their retirement. Uh, Many people haven't adequately set aside enough money for their healthcare costs. They also don't know how much healthcare is going to cost in retirement. And the third strike is that they've given no thought whatsoever to the possibility of needing long-term care. 7 out of 10 seniors end up needing long-term care at some point. And, if you're young, you may be saying, so what, man? I'll worry about that when I'm old. That's future me's problem. I get where you're coming from, but it's not. What about your parents? What about your grandparents? It's kind of why you need to be thinking about it now. Remember, we've talked many times before about how this stuff isn't taught in school, and nobody's getting a financial education. People are just bumbling through, and that includes your parents and grandparents. Most of the time, they've had to just figure things out as they go. They haven't even heard of long-term care, is what I'm betting. You see, most work-based employee healthcare plans don't cover the cost associated with being with long-term care, and neither does Medicare. And you may say, how bad can it be? Well, in-home or facility care can cost anywhere from $20,000 a year to $100,000 a year, depending on the state that you live in and the level of care that's required. I just went up with a friend of mine to visit his mother, who is in a care facility, and they are spending $4,000 a month to keep her there. His mother has dementia. She's been diagnosed with dementia, and it's a progressive disease, meaning it's going to get worse and worse. Right now it's so bad. Right now it's not so bad. She forgets little things and stuff, but she could still take care of herself and still function somewhat. But there's going to come a time where that's not going to be the case. And so it's already $4,000 a year just for my friend to have his mother in a care facility. Someplace where they could keep tabs on her and make sure that the little things are being done as well as the important things. So that's how bad it can be, okay? And you may be thinking, that's all right. We'll all just kind of pitch in and help out. Grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, they could just move in with us. Everybody will chip in and we'll be fine. That's not necessarily the case. See, there's a couple of flaws in that plan. Number one is, can you guarantee that everybody is going to be financially stable enough to be able to contribute to mom and dad, grandpa and grandpa's care? Typically, that's not always the case. In any given family, usually somebody's got their stuff together and other people are still trying to figure it out. I'm working to change that, and I'm hoping to change that. If more people plug into the channel and start budgeting and saving and things, well, then that can happen. But until then, that is a flaw. Wow, I'm on fire. Oh, great. The other flaw is grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad may need a level of care that you guys just aren't equipped to provide. They may need a full-time nurse to come and visit. What if they have an ostomy or a catheter, or have to take some sort of medication intravenously on a regular basis through a port or something like that? What if there's some sort of wound care or whatever that's required because diabetics can get to a point where they don't heal properly, things of that nature. So the list goes on. I'm making my point. I'm kind of going down a bit of a rabbit hole here. The solution, guys, it's not all gloom and doom. The solution is long-term care insurance. Now, if you have long-term care insurance, it can cover these costs. But in order and it could be done so cheaply. I told you that it's $20,000 to $100,000 a year to have somebody in a care facility. That's each year. Well, to have long-term care insurance, you can have that for anywhere from $200 to $400 a month, especially if you lock it in. When that person is between 50 and 65. So there's options, there's a solution. The trick is hardly anybody talks about it. I found that a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't tend to talk about financial matters much anyway, even though it would help everybody greatly to do so. We could compare notes, get a little bit of a hive mind, but no, it's hush-hush. And so we keep having generational financial ignorance going on. And that's one of the things, obviously, that I'm working to try and solve. But if you were to talk about it, if you were to take some of these steps, well, then it could be provided for relatively cheaply. Most people, however, don't become aware that long-term care insurance exists until they're in a position to need it. Like the time when somebody is being checked into a facility. Oh, do you have a long-term care policy? Oh, no, I didn't even know there was such a thing. Is it too late for me to get one? Yeah, because, they're needing long-term care right now. So, guys, I'm going to link a couple of articles below this video on YouTube. I want you to give it a serious read. It could be extremely helpful to you. Because those articles are extremely informative. There's even some suggestions in there as to where you can look to find a long-term care insurance policy. There used to be a lot of people that carried them, but now not so much. The last I checked, there was only about 15 companies that carried some sort of long-term care policy. So you'll want to look into that. You want to see what some of the best companies are, and then you want to check out some of the different plans and how they might benefit you. Specifically, maybe not you if you're 15 to 25, but specifically your parents or your grandparents. If they haven't needed long-term care so far, they've been lucky, and it's not too late to go ahead and get a policy. And if you and your family want to chip in on something, then chipping in towards the cost of that family is a much better deal. $200 to $400 spread out over a few people to help provide mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa with a long-term care insurance policy is a way, way better situation to be in than trying to scrounge up anywhere from $3,000 to $9,000 a month to try and provide care for them. So anyway, as always, guys, if you have questions, hit me with them in the comments below the video. You can also hit me with them at fustianfinance@gmail.com.